I'm going to start this show. Hey, team. Welcome to the February 2026 edition of the Tempo Think Tank. My name is Nancy Spooner. I'm founder of Tempo, and this think tank was founded during the pandemic. We all lost our jobs, and we just got together to drink a glass of wine, and woe is me. What are we going to do
Mhm.
with our lives? And it turned into, well, this is what we're going to do with our lives. And we all just supported each other, and we met weekly. And Sloan coined it the think tank, and we just started embracing the chaos and figuring out how we're going to produce shows, call shows through the pandemic. And it became a very popular weekly meetup, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. And eventually it started slowing down a little bit because everybody got back to work, but there's still a need, I think, for us to gather and share resources. And so that's what we do now is we meet once a month and we gather to talk about how we can be better freelancers, how we can be better business owners, because in the end, that's what we are. We are independent contractors. We are independent business owners. And I want to make sure that you have all the resources you need to act like it and work like it and have your best business so you can have your best years. So I'm constantly meeting people, talking to others about their businesses and how they're doing and what they're doing. And I met through this crazy event world, I think maybe via LinkedIn. Um, who was our common denominator, Brandy?
It was either Kai Spencer or Lynn Edwards.
Yeah, I think it was Lynn introduced me to Kai, introduced me to you. It's just fun how it works.
Yeah.
And I met Brandy and I was like, tell me more about what you do and how you do it. And would you come talk to our Tempo think tank? And she said, of course. Brandy is founder of Brown Heist, which is a agency that you can describe it better than I don't want to put words in your mouth, but
Yeah.
she's very smart and she's very business savvy. And what you're about to see, I think, could really help your businesses. And if you don't take it all in, take really good nuggets from it. We hope to leave this meeting with some great takeaways and then continue the conversation after this meeting as well, so that we can still stay in the loop on how to be better businesses and brand ourselves and build a career and not just work the next gig, which is what we all did and we all do when we start out. But it becomes, you get to a point where you actually want to make this your career. So, um, with that, I'm just going to hand it over to Brandy. I'm not even going to bother with introductions because we have a nice full house today. You're welcome to write in the chat if you have any questions or if you want to introduce yourself. I will monitor the chat. Barb will monitor the chat. Barb is our VP of Ops. She's down in one of our squares in the middle. And we're both with Tempo and we're here to support you. So, however, we can support you, Brandy, Barb, and I got your back. Um, Take it away, Brandy. Who's Brand Heist? What are you doing? How do you do this? What are we going to see today?
Well, thanks for the introduction. And I equally just feel like I love your energy. I was like, I need this person in my life. So thank you for wrangling a community together and creating a space for people to learn and gather. Honestly, we're in the events business. So coming together in a way that we can chat feels really nice. My name is Brandy, and I am the co-founder of Brand Heist. I found this with Kyla Spencer, which is her birthday today, and she's in Colombia having a great time. So I know we'll get to meet her at another date. But yeah, a little bit of my background. I've done a myriad of different things, like probably all of you in the room. I have owned my own business. I've worked for organizations. I've built community. I've built product. I've done a myriad of different things, and so sometimes the market doesn't always appreciate that. It wants you to do one thing for forever. But really having a diverse background, I think, makes you the most utilitarian player. It makes you like more than a triple threat to the market. So we want to talk about who we are as a company to show that, we see all different kind of businesses all the time. What Brand Heist does is we have a digital performance and experiential discipline. And for those that can't read through the marketing jargon, is that digital we do like websites and sales sheets and anything that you can think about as an online presence, we do that. We also create AI workflows for companies. So this space over here, digital, just think about creative plus AI. We have performance. Think about that as like lead generation, where we might send out email campaigns. Um, we do front end work on websites like SEO and SEM. Think about data analytics and reporting when it comes to performance. And then experiential, this is where we do in person and virtual events And so we want to help companies recognize revenue through gathering people, right? So what is the ROI in gathering people, not only to your brand, but to the bottom line? So that's Brand Heist in a nutshell. And this is accumulation of, my life's work and Kai's together where we've been able to take our experiences and put it under the umbrella of Brand Heist. So today, what we're going to focus on is freelancing. In some capacity, we do it too, and we want to recognize that this is a big market. This is not a small market, and with the changes in the economy, you're going to see a lot more freelancers than ever before. So how are you going to separate yourself from the market? We'll get to that piece, but we want to back up a little bit and just say that like almost 40% of the U.S. workforce are freelancers. That's a stunning number, which I just learned getting this presentation together. I was like, wow, that's really impressive. Um, and the freelancers generate $1 trillion of earnings in 2024. That's a lot. That's 1 in 4 people are freelancers. That's a big number. And so freelancers make anywhere from like $100,000 to $200,000. And so what separates you from those $200,000? We're going to talk about that today. Not that you don't make $200,000, but just how do you stay at the top tier of those freelancers that people always pick up the phone and call? And so another statistic we found very interesting, as freelancers, we are our own business, but you're not spending time on your business. You're spending time on someone else's project, or what does the next gig look like? So we really want to challenge this 2 hours or less a week that's spent on your brand. And I want to say too, this is an open forum. You have questions, raise your hands. You got a comment, raise your hands. So this is not, I don't want to just talk at you guys for this amount of time. Just so please stop, and I'll stop before each slide to make sure if there's any questions.
Thank you. I meant to say that earlier, y'all. This has always been very communal, very collaborative. You don't have to wait to the Q&A to be handed a microphone. No mic runners here.
So we want to talk about the CEO mindset. And this is something that I feel like everyone misses. You don't have to be a freelancer to still be a CEO of your own life. You could be an electrician, or you could be a marketer, or you could be a doctor, or whatever it is. You're still the CEO of your own life. So it's a CEO mindset. And you're in charge of this mission and vision of where we're going in life. And then you have your operations person that's going to work on systems and habits and every day that makes it possible. You got your CFO that manages your time, your energy, and money. You have your CMO that controls how you show up and understanding your own value. And you have a CRO, which is a chief revenue officer that ensures every experience enforces trust and credibility. Now, just because all of these roles exist in your C-suite doesn't mean that you should not be fired from some of these roles because you suck at them. And I am one of them. I do not fulfill all these roles every day perfectly, and really just have to supplement some of it. And so you have to identify where those are. So I am curious from this group, or anyone feeling like they're suffering in some of these roles where they need to pick up a little better on. Yeah,
I will
maybe.
say that I was suffering in finance. Like I was doing it all, and it wasn't until somebody said, "Get out of your books." I've been doing my own books for years. The greatest thing I ever did was hire a fractional CFO. Greatest
Yeah.
thing ever. Yeah. So and now that I trust handles the books, handles your invoices, handles our invoicing. It was life changing. I'm so glad I let that go, and the business grew when I did. It was scary to do, but
Yeah.
that
And
was
I
huge.
think, for me, I also feel that way too. I work all the time. I'm a single mom. I have to put all my bills on auto pay, don't really think about it. And so and that's just my personal life. My business, I have the luxury of having a bookkeeper come in, but I sometimes don't even know. I've got a bill due. It's been sitting on my desk for a week because I'm working so hard. So I have a lot of empathy for not being able to get all these things done. We're not going to focus on each of these roles, but definitely want to just bring up that like these roles do exist in your life. Do acknowledge that you're failing or need to get supplement support in them or could do better. Maybe you find some energy around really dropping into this CMO role, which is a chief marketing officer role, or the chief revenue officer role. But you will, even in growing your own brand, you'll find yourself doing operations. You'll find yourself doing finance. These things will come up. So we want to talk about why personal brand is so important. You want to be recognized. You want like when you go out and you put your feet, your boots on the ground and you're showing up 100%, you want that to be recognized and you want it to be recognized in a way that they want to call you back. Like you've done such a great job. Like that person made such an impact. We want them back. You're going to have shorter sales cycles when you show up really well, or that you have a brand that's online and someone's like following you and tracking you. They're going to be like, oh, they're kind of a known quantity. So you don't have to go through all this muck and mire of someone trying to figure out who you are and they're asking lots of questions. You're just kind of a known quantity. You can kind of call for premium rates. You're like, yes, I'm a known quantity. I can also call the rates that I know that I deserve, and I can turn down one that don't meet my threshold anymore because I've grown so much. And that creates inbound opportunities, which we're going to talk about today. Is like you want inbound opportunities. As you're out in the world, you want to make sure that have delivery excellence. So all of this comes together and you get word of mouth and it comes back to you. Any questions here? So we're going to talk about the three secret pillars that top freelancers use. They create a foundation for themselves. They do outreach, and then they know how to close. So these are the three things that are going to separate you from everybody else. So you want to get up to that 200,000 to 250 or whatever it is. Maybe you get so good at it that you can create your own company and hire people that are SMEs underneath you to do it. So the sky's the limit, honestly. So we're going to break into foundation first. What is foundation? This is where your brand exists, where people can find you. Like if you were to go on vacation to Tahiti for 6 months, this would still exist without you. So that's your foundation. We're going to set the pillar number one in foundation is going to be research. Have you done research on your competitors? Who do you consider your competitor? Do you even know what they are, or who they are? So do research. What are they doing? What do you like? What do you not like? Spot those gaps. Like, I think they do all that really well, but I have an opinion about what they're not doing. Well, take that and pull it into your brand. That's going to probably create the differentiator that you're looking for. So it's kind of a no-brainer. It's one thing. Like what really separates you from the market? And as much as you can say, like, I'm just steady Eddie, and you don't feel like that is like a good thing, that actually is a great thing. I am reliable. Someone knows I've got a good temperature. I don't get too excitable. Like I'm great under pressure. All of those things can be your differentiator. Doesn't mean there's not another person on the planet that doesn't have that, but they're not talking about it like you are. And you're really telling the market who you are. And also track, follow content, follow clients, follow ideas. If you're following your competition, and your competition could be your peer, it doesn't have to be this angsty piece. It'd just be like, hey, they can hire me or that person. And what is that person doing over me? And if you see what that person is doing and what they're involved in, it sparks ideas. Track them, get a spreadsheet, write it down, get a document, follow the content, like it, follow it, that kind of stuff. But if you like something, grab it and put it on a Word doc. Like you're gonna have to have a little back end office stuff going on. So this is your COO, your chief operating officer is like, where are we collecting this stuff? So this is the stuff that you're going to do. You're going to research first. Any questions there? Any comments? The next one is brand identity. This is pretty straightforward. It's like, first of all, what do you look like? Are you walking in all haggard and like your glasses are all crooked and your clothes are all wrinkled? You can wear black all day long, but it needs to be crispy, crispy, nice. It should be clean, and you have an opportunity to even like wear cool shoes or have this fancy little belt or like whatever. But the crisper you are, the better you're going to stand out in a sea of average, right? We can all be average. After this call, I'll pull all this stuff off and be very average, right? I wore this jacket for you today because that's my brand, right? I didn't come in here with my sweatshirt on. I'm not saying we can't be relaxed with each other, but the intent is to show you there was um, I intended to look good for you, right? I washed my hair, brushed my teeth for you today. So you're welcome. But really that is really true. Like, first of all, how are you showing up? What do you look like? Can you talk about yourself? What's your pitch? If I went to said, Jill, tell me about you. Could you tell me about who you are? And I would say, like, even Annie, can you tell me, or Melissa, or Sarah, can anyone tell me who they are today and feel like they can really pitch themselves? This is really important to do. This doesn't have to be a long diatribe. It just needs to be stupid simple. Hi, I'm Jill. I have a background in X. I've been doing it for X amount of years. I'm super passionate about it. I am your person because I am reliable. That kind of stuff, right? So it's just that simple. It doesn't have to be some long, like, corporate America message. It just, can you tell me just a little context about yourself and keep it simple. I don't want to hear that you've moved 15 times. I don't want to know about your 100 jobs. I don't want to know that you're frustrated, that you're unhappy. I don't want to know all that. I'm not your therapist. I'm your potential client. So what is that going to look like? So make sure that you just keep it simple, simple, simple. One thing I've learned that someone taught me many, many, many years ago is if you're talking, you're not learning. So give your pitch and let that client talk. You can hear them say what they want. Tie yourself to their needs 100%. Um, this is where you're going to talk about what makes you special. Create a tagline. What's your tagline? For the longest time, I lived in Texas and I moved to Seattle and I was in the startup world for a long time. And one of my taglines was not even related to my job. I'm like, I'm a Texan. We hug everything but trees. I know it was super silly, but it was just like a kind of a fun one-liner. So, that's been deprecated. That's 20 years ago kind of thing. But what is your one liner? And it can be your value as well. So it can be, I'm steady Eddie Jill. Like, you can rely on me. I'm reliable. I show up on time. I stay late. I respond very quickly. That's your one liner. So have a tagline. Have a professional email. So your email shouldn't have like, I'm picking on you, Jill. You're my person today. You're right center, right in front of me here. But it shouldn't say Jill Brown 22719. It should say Jill Brown at Gmail. And if you can't use your middle initial, whatever it could be, you know, Jill, her middle initial, and then Brown, whatever it might be, but it just needs to be professional. There's a lot of times that the emails are not crisp enough and they feel like they're your birth date or your kid's birthday or whatever it is, accumulation of birthdays. So no numbers in your email address. It's my best line to you. Get a professional photo. You don't have to hire a photographer anymore. If you go to my LinkedIn right now, y'all can go to it right now. Brandy Rhodes on LinkedIn. Look up Brand Heist. That is an AI generated photo. I look amazing, but that is not a real photo of me. But I look young and fresh and all this stuff. So, and while you're out looking at my photo, go ahead and connect with me. That would be great. I would love that. But I used, I can't remember the name of it now. I will figure it out and I'll send it to you. But get an AI generated photo. You only have to upload like 4 normal photos of yourself, and you will get a great professional photo. Something else around your brand is kind of know what your pricing is. Like, do you have some packages? Do you have some referral programs? Do you have some retainers? You should be able to talk to that with a client on the fly. You should be able to say, hey, look, we can fit your needs. We can plug and play with you all day long. We have packages, we have referral programs, we have retainers. So whatever you need, soup to nuts, we can plug and play and be very agile in what you need. So, but you should know what that is in case you're standing on your feet and you can't get to the document. You need to know that. You don't have to go as far as like brand logos and colors. It's more about being identifiable. So maybe Jill does a J and a B and it's just her initial and has a little circle around it. And she goes in Canva and she creates that for herself. That's it. And maybe that becomes like her new LinkedIn logo or whatever it might be. But maybe it's just something simple like that, where she can put it at the bottom of her email address, where it looks more professional, more thought out, more maturity around the brand. So I'll stop there. Does anyone have any questions around brand identity?
I
I
have a
was just going to
comment.
say, since you were talking about
Go.
my name email. Oh, sorry, Nancy.
No, you go,
Um,
Jill.
I do use it even just the like at Gmail, which I think is fine because it's just my name. But I think like, oh, how easy would it be to just I don't even need to like brand identify, but I need to like fix my signature so it doesn't
Yeah.
look generic. And I thought about whatever company name I want to make up. Is it that much better? Do people care if they see a Gmail? Yeah, at least it's not an AOL or something, but
Yeah, I mean, we need to
for
kill that
judgment.
now. We just do. So whoever's ever rotating on AOL, I respect you, and also we need to change it up. And you can port your emails to your new address,
Right.
or just
Yeah. And then that way keep that separate anyway. So it's probably a good idea. But I'm saying it out loud, so I do it basically.
Yeah. And that was gonna be my comment, Jill. It's like I don't agree with the Gmail. I think you should, it's so easy to get Jill at jillbrown.com. You know,
Yeah.
I did
Okay.
that years ago, Nancy, nancyspooner.com. I still have it. And everything goes to my Gmail. So I didn't change my
Right.
email. It all goes there. It's an alias. I don't remember how I did it, but everything's Googleable or ChatGPTable. You could easily get your own brand name
Yeah.
simply and get a different email address if you wanted to step out of email.
you can.
Right.
There's
Right.
a
Right.
cost associated to it, and it's like $25 a month, and it's worth every $25 a month if you're
Hmm.
looking to grow your brand. If you
Right.
just want to sit back and take it easy and just plug and play and don't want to be intentional, then don't worry about it.
You
You
wouldn't be
should,
here.
but that's not what we're here
Sure.
for. We're here to talk about brand growth, right? Okay, so we'll move over to gather. So this is where you can be found. This is kind of think about your gathering is about everyone knows what content is, right? So content is like what you write about or what you've taken pictures of. It's you can pile it onto like a table. Content, think about it like that, or a digital table, whatever that is. So it's going to be story. So captures like when you're on site, you should take a picture of the outside of the building, maybe take a picture of like everyone gathered in the back having fun, or maybe it's everyone working. That behind the scenes is gold nuggets, gold nuggets. And if you just pull your phone out enough to take 4 photos that you can put online just on your LinkedIn, you've done yourself a great service. So think about gathering what you're going to push out into the world. Case studies. All of your work is associated to a case study. What a case study is, it's just the story of the project you did. We put a big fat marketing name on it, like case study. Basically, it just means tell me that you did good work with someone there was impact. That's all it says. So I'm going to go to Brooke. Brooke, if Brooke has she's been out, she's worked on a really cool event that really even inspired her, she can look back and go, I worked on this project. Here's some couple of behind the scenes stuff. The impact that we made was this. It was seamless. There was 100,000 people there, blah, blah. I don't even know what it is, but just write about it. And the great thing is AI is there for you. You don't have to be a content writer anymore. It will write it for you. You need to guide it. Don't cut and paste and keep the emojis low because every time you see an emoji in a long dash, I'm like, hey, I wrote that. I'm not mad at it, but it at least edit it where the eye doesn't pick it up so much. You know what I mean? So every person you've ever worked for, you should ask them for testimonials. If you feel like you cannot ask your client for a testimonial, you have to ask yourself, did you do a good enough job? You should be able to walk away from every job you have and get a testimonial. Ask them for it. Do it before the last day. Tell them you want a testimonial on the last day. You're going to follow up with the email and do it when it's hot. If time kills all deals, and that's even getting content from someone. So follow up with them. Follow up with them and say, and we'll talk about this at the end, but you're going to say, thank you. We had a great time, all of this stuff. So your life stories, this is all the stuff you're going to pivot. I mean, I'm sorry, not pivot. You're going to also gather your life stories. You can talk about your lessons, whatever that is. Some tools, also gather tools. Are you going to use Canva and Clarify? Clarify is a CRM. CRM is a customer relationships manager thing. You can Clarify is great. Easy, easy, easy. You can plug it into your Gmail. It updates all your contacts over here like a sales funnel. Like you'll go over there and have all your contacts, their numbers, and everything associated to it. I suggest do that. Brand Heist uses Clarify. They have free versions. Canva has a free version. Gmail has their stuff, and you can use Chat GPT. We have moved over to Claude because Claude is superior right now, but use AI. Any comments on gathering? I do have a lot. What is our time, Nancy?
We have 30 minutes for the whole thing. So if you leave a little room for there's more Q&A, usually you get like 45 minutes of 50 minutes, and then we open it up because people start talking a little bit more after.
Great, great, great. So we'll get through these a little faster. We got two other pillars to get through. The last one is presence. Where are you going to put all this content? Where are you going to put it? At the very minimum, have a LinkedIn. Clean it up, make it look good. Don't be afraid to get a website up and going. Right now, you can get a website up and going in Canva, which is kind of crazy. They have templates. You just put your content in it. It's colored. It's got all the stuff. You can change the colors. You can do all of it. And Canva's so easy. I have launched a couple of websites for clients that didn't have a lot of money and they just needed to manage their own website for a while in Canva. Super, super, super easy. Have your portfolio of work up there as well. You should have your case studies is your portfolio of work, right? Pick a social platform. If it's LinkedIn or TikTok or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Just post. Like figure out what works good for you that you're comfortable with the voice. I would say Instagram is probably not great for freelancers, but I think LinkedIn, if you're going to focus on one thing, make LinkedIn great. Let people find you there and see your work. Find communities and forums that you can be a part of and contribute. So you want to be able to give back and become a thought leader. And then I don't know the last time you Googled yourself, but that's what you should do. See what pops up. That's your presence out there. You should know what it looks like. And if you can't find yourself, do your city. So you'll put like Brandy Roads, Seattle, see what pops up. So you can drill down into your segment as much as you need to find what it's out there. So this is a LinkedIn transformation. This is Lynn Edwards. She's an event professional and she has been doing this for 30 years. And we just updated her LinkedIn just this last week. She's got tons of customers, done tons of amazing things, even has sold her business. So she's fantastic. But her LinkedIn was missing some things that she's stepping into more of this like speaking arena where she's delivering speaking opportunities to help people that are in the event business and CMOs and different things like that. So if you look at the background here versus this background here, you can see that her Lynn Edwards new site does not have a logo. Over here, we added the logo. There's a lot more in her tagline, or not tagline, but underneath her name description than was before. That's what people see first. So you can create in LinkedIn this little thing. You can go, I'm sorry, when you go to Canva, you can say that you want to do a LinkedIn banner and it will size it for you. You can decorate it, put whatever you want to on it, download it and upload it, and it's done for you. You can put the Jill Brown, the JB up there if you wanted to. You know, you could do those things. Um, Over here is the about page versus how it was enhanced. Do you see the difference? Like all of those words matter. You're going to know more about her than ever before. So this is the transformation that we're asking you to make at the minimum on your LinkedIn if it does not already exist. And the last thing is around LinkedIn is, oh, sorry, go down into your experience, list everything. If, say, Jill Brown, you want to say you've worked at Jill Brown for a really long time, you can create a Jill Brown LinkedIn. You can do that. It doesn't cost anything extra. And then you can link out to it, and then you can put over there the list of services that you provide. And that way, if you don't have a LinkedIn for the business that you're running, it will look like this. So we created a Lynn Edwards for professional speaking training page, so it would link to that piece. The last thing about LinkedIn is get LinkedIn recommendations. Now, these are your testimonials as well. So you're in the recommendations section of your LinkedIn, there is a way to ask for a recommendation, but there is the protocol that you need to do before you send someone that. You need to reach out to them and get permission. That is just the best way to do that. It's the best practices. It's the courtesy of asking someone, would they give you one first? So you're going to ask them if they would give you a LinkedIn recommendation and offer to write it for them to edit. And if they say yes, then what you'll do is you'll make a draft, you'll send it to them, and then you will come over here and ask for a recommendation over there. But all that should be done separate before you ask for the recommendation. Does that make sense? It's just a professional courtesy before you send it over there. I've had a lot of people ask me without asking me first, and it does seem a little weird. Hey, I want you to give me a recommendation. We had a lot of great fun working together. Really enjoyed doing that project together. We really killed it at that show. And do you mind giving me a LinkedIn recommendation? I'm happy to write it for you. Give you something to edit. And I've never had anyone say no. They always say yes. So now we're going to step into your brand's outreach. And I'll pause and see if there are any questions before we step into pillar 2. Okay. So this is really the strategy around all of those things that you gathered, right? So share what you have gathered. You have the behind the scene photos, you got the client stories and case studies, you have the life lessons. Create a calendar. Put it on your calendar. Literally, like content calendaring is an actual thing. On this week, I'm posting this. On this week, I'm posting this. If you give yourself a carrot for next week, you typically will rise to the occasion, even if it's a calendar block. Next week, I'm blocking. So you can put like on Tuesdays, I will post X, and you can block your calendar for it. And know that there are different times to post better than others. Typically, Tuesday's better than Monday. Sometimes early in the morning as people are scrolling in their bed, or simply not on the drive to work, but it's sometimes after they sat at their desk a little bit or around lunch, after work. You have to think about your modality of when you're looking at social media, that's when you should post it. But do your calendar, stay consistent, feed the beast. It only has to be once a week. It doesn't need to be anything more. It doesn't have to be laborsome. Do more if you want to do more. But once a week, just feed it, seed it. So if I land on your page, Sarah, I can see that you've done all these things. And Tammy over here recommended you. So now I'm going over there and I'm looking at your LinkedIn. I can see that you've been consistent. You got a great brand. You got recommendations. It looks tight. You got your picture up there. You got your AI photo. You got your Canva LinkedIn banner. It looks tight. I want to work with you. You look put together. And always just lead with insight or ideas. Be a thought leader. Thought leader doesn't mean you know everything. Sometimes just posting makes you the thought leader by showing stuff that's happening back there. You've got all this expertise and you think everyone knows it, but they don't. They don't. You do, so you think everyone else does, but they don't. And if they, and the people in your space, your competitors or your coworkers or whatever it is, they're not posting about it. Why not you? We're going to talk about this activity. So post, 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 like get at it. That's what's really important. That's just one of the things that you're going to do. The next thing is you're going to email past clients. Hey, just wanted to follow up and say, hey, I haven't talked to you in a couple of years. We had a great time on that. Are you still at that company anymore? Like, you can connect with them on LinkedIn. It can be an email, whatever it might be. But email, I would say in sales, the best thing you could ever have is go to your base first. You're going to start at your base first. You're going to manage that because it's easier to grow opportunities with people that already know you than it is to go get net new. No one knows you. They're not even in your sphere. So grow that base, go back to your past clients. Net new, decide who you want to work with. If you've looked at companies and you say, hey, I've always thought they were kind of cool. Well, go stalk them. Go figure it out. Like, go see if they're hiring somebody for your role. And if they're hiring for a role, they may just be up for getting a contractor instead. So and they may just need fractional. Don't be afraid of the optics of what a company puts out there. Don't let don't let that wall be a blocker. Think of it like a moat. How are you going to get over this moat? You're going to jump over that moat. You're going to swim through the moat. You're going to get a catapult. You're going to go over the moat. You got to get to that castle. That's the opportunity with net new. That moat does not stop you. Alligators are not. You've got to get across the moat. And then you're going to track this. This is really important. You want to know the last time that you kept up with someone. This is where Clarify could really be helpful, is that you are using that CRM to track your efforts. But you can track it on a spreadsheet. That is perfectly fine. We do that still with some things. So don't be shy about creating a Google sheet or an Excel sheet, whatever it is. And block your calendar for activity, period. Like just do on Tuesday at this time or every morning at 9 o'clock, whatever is, commit to the brand, period. So the next thing is networking and collaboration. So go out and attend these in-person events, conferences, meetups. We all kind of know this. We get invited to industry stuff. Go. And in the time of COVID, it's so easy to say, it's so cozy here. I'm tired. I'm the worst with this. Like, I sometimes am just too tired. I use my brain all day long. And the last thing I want to do is go out and talk more. But this is uber important. In-person interactions can never be replaced. And as we're more behind the screen than ever before, you're going to be more remembered in person than you ever will be behind the screen. So create or join podcast or workshops. So if you've got someone that you follow that you like that has a podcast, reach out, see if they have an opportunity for you. Maybe you want to actually create one. Maybe you want to collaborate with someone and create one. So maybe you create a workshop, whatever it is on your expertise. I will say this over and over again. The best way to get opportunities to you is to give back first. So refer someone, share someone's content, do introductions to this amazing person over here. If you're not giving back to the community and helping others, that energy, that magnetic flow is broken. So fix that piece. As you give, it comes back to you. So give back. And then create a collaboration group. Maybe there's 3 or 5 of you, whatever it is, but all of y'all make up a pizza pie of skills. And maybe y'all kind of want to go after some things together. So get you a little group together and it's a complementary freelancers. I have this skill, you have that skill. They need all these skills. And so go after people together. It's a great idea. Y'all could get a segment of leads that you wanted and you could go after them together. It'd be fantastic. It'd be a lot of fun. You could hold each other accountable. Any questions around this piece? Great.
I have comments.
Is there a comment?
I always have comments. Yeah. this is beautiful. I think the in-person networking, if you can do it, be there. If Tempo calls on a happy hour, show up. If we're doing it, this means so much to me and Barb too. This is virtual, but still I'm getting to know you. I'm getting used to seeing your faces. And when you guys apply for gigs, I know who you are. So now Carmen's going to show her face. But this is huge to me too. Like being proactive in Tempo, we have a community, we have a group. And when I see you and Barb and I see you show up and we see you apply for gigs and you're taking part and sharing stuff with us on LinkedIn, that's also networking to us. That's someone who cares about us and we care about you. And it keeps you top of mind. That's all. Carry on.
So I have a comment also. So this in-person meetups, a lot of times maybe you don't have those types of opportunities. Like it's not like I live in Richmond, Virginia. There's not some big Richmond event meetup that's happening. So what I've actually done is gone on LinkedIn and I've looked for people in our industry. You can sort by city, you can sort by location, and I've reached out to those people individually on LinkedIn and then like planned individual meetups. And now we actually have like sort of a cohort going. Um, like the collaboration group you were sort of talking about, we haven't worked together yet, but now it's larger groups of us getting together. And it all just came from like, and it's amazing. We talk about Nick Bacon sometimes on these calls, like it turns out he lives in my town, or it's amazing who you'll find out who works in the industry that lives really nearby.
That is awesome. And you know what? It feels it's having the bravery to just one step, one email, one outreach. And I love, Carmen, the curiosity. You didn't let it be a blocker for you. I feel like curiosity is what's missing in most people. There's a book I read, and I'm going to try to stay on track. We only have 2 minutes. There's a book called The Great Leap, and it talks about the upper limit problem. And we all have more of an upper limit problem than we do anything else. Before we want to blame it on everyone else, we keep ourselves down because we're too afraid of the action. We'd rather fail at trying than try to fail. So I just want to say bravo, nice work. On the community engagement, just want you get out there, be helpful, answer questions, no strings attached, just get out there, start conversations. You can do polls on LinkedIn, you can do hot takes, real questions. You can do that online or in person. Have fun. There's this one girl I follow on LinkedIn and she's just like, hot take Thursday. Yeah, and it's personal sometimes. And I'm like, I'm not mad at it. She gets a lot of engagement. People have a lot of fun and it's kind of nice. And then engage, commenting before posting just means like be committed to commenting on other people's LinkedIn stuff before posting your own. So you'll have to engage the algorithms for the algorithms to engage you. And the long game is really you're just building trust over time. So I want to talk about a sales funnel. Does anyone ever heard of a sales funnel before? Everybody's in a sales funnel. Every corporation is in a sales funnel. Everything is in a sales funnel. It's like if you are stagnant in life and you're like, I just hate, I'm just in this rut. I just keep doing this stuff over and over. It's just the same results all the time. Well, you're doing the same putting input or no input into this opportunities funnel. It's what I'm calling it. So if you're doing delivery excellence and you got social media and you're going to get referrals, you're networking, you're following up on emails, and you're posting, all of that top of the funnel activity will land in your hopper. Will you get all of it? No, but it's a numbers game. And so you need not and in sales too, if you're not getting a no, you're not getting a yes. So go get your no so you can go get your yes. It's just a numbers game. So let's get through this last one. It's the closer. It's discovering qualifications. Not every lead needs a proposal, meaning you do not have to entertain everything that comes across your plate. Figure out what your threshold is. If it does not fit your threshold, your metrics, whatever it is, then give it to somebody. Refer it out and be a good partner. If you start referring things to other people, things will get referred to you. So questions around like when you're talking to someone, do not be afraid to ask qualifying questions. Why now? Why do you want to do this now, person? What are your long-term initiatives and goals with this? What's your budget? What's your timeline? Who's the decision maker? If I spend all my time with the non-decision maker, are we getting anywhere? So how do you empower the non-decision maker, the influencer, to be able to go sell it to the decision maker, if that makes sense? So maybe you got a friend that's working on a project and you are going back and forth, but that's not the decision maker, then you need to empower that person to go have the conversation. Ask questions. Intake forms, if you get enough volume, you can do intake forms. Makes it feel very formal that someone has to fill it out for you. And the questionnaire can do the screening. So it's just like yes, I would love to learn more about this project. Let's talk about it now, but I have a questionnaire form I'd love to send you. It really will break down the project as a whole for me. So something you have to worry about is red flags because there's always scope creep and brain picking energy. So know when to stop. That's where the questionnaire really helps with that. So if they're really interested, they can go to the questionnaire. You do want to qualify it at least with, a good gut check. And there are times that people do pick our brain, and sometimes you don't have to look at it as a negative way. It's just you giving back free energy to the world, right? But be able to know when you want to walk away, know your minimum, refer the rest. We're going to get into proposals and pricing. I feel like sometimes when we're doing these things, I've written a lot of proposals. I've gotten really good at it over time. And what I've noticed is if you go into Canva and you actually create a proper proposal with a letterhead and some colors and all the stuff, it's so professional. People love it. They just love it. They can't get enough of it. So don't be afraid to put your freelancing time on a proposal. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. I call it Chat Daddy, but it's Chat GPT. You can go to Chat Daddy, ask Chat Daddy to write this proposal for you, and then you can do what you want to and massage it in the way that works best for you. Um, and and then figure out the tiered pricing piece for you, which package fits, which means you want to offer a client 3 opportunities. Here's option 1, 2, and 3. And they typically are going to go for the middle one. So think about that as well. What are your packages you want to offer over? Give them 7 days, but go ahead and book the date that you want to follow up with them. They can be 3 days, or would you say, hey, when can we follow up? And they say, well, I need about a week. Say, great. Is that Thursday at 12? Does that work for you? Like, close it. Get the time kills all deals, and you have to lock. It's your responsibility to keep the action in your hands and not hand it over to someone else. It's like business cards. When someone gives you their business card, they're giving the action to you. I never take cards. I don't take my cards. I take cards from people. I know my follow-up. I know that I'll pick up with them, and I always do that. Follow them on LinkedIn. I send them an email. I do the whole thing. But if I give them my card, I've given them the action to contact me back, and it's just dead in the water. So keep everything visually clean, polished. Keep it nice, simple. Don't overcomplicate it. It's not a zoo. There's nothing worse than your eyes getting like overwhelmed by too much design. Onboarding retention. So in person, but I think I duplicated this one, guys. Onboarding and retention. This basically is, sorry, I have the wrong thing here, but onboarding retention is that you can have bringing someone on. When you think about a client, you want to be able to say, here's our onboarding welcome email. This is what you should expect from us. And that's going to give you retention. You want to have those follow-up weekly check-ins with the client. The client needs to be able to see your face, hear your impact, and know what the next steps are. That's retention. If you want to think about it like white glove service, right? Maybe it's a manager, maybe it's one part of contact, maybe it's just one stakeholder, but that stakeholder should know everything you've done and what you're doing next and any of the blockers that you've done or any risk. But don't henpeck them, right? So don't be like here on this day and that day and this hour and that hour. Like consolidate that, have a proper weekly check-in and make it polished and finished. That is the onboarding and the retention piece, is that you want to set the tone and the expectations, and then you want to move it into retaining that client. And then offboarding is equally as important as offboarding. And that is wrap it up, final files, give them all your files, send a recap and a thank you. That is clutch move. Even from your old clients that you're going to write back, just say, hey, I had so much fun with you guys. And I just want to thank you for the time. I'd love to see what you guys are doing now. But you need to do it as soon as the project's over too, right? Send that follow-up, please. Ask for proof. That's also a time that you can ask for testimonials. Ask them to follow you on LinkedIn. You can follow them on LinkedIn. Do that last check-in with them, like a proper eyeball to eyeball. Say thank you. It's been really great. And then send them a follow-up email. And then stay visible for the next 30, 60, 90 days. If they're following you on LinkedIn and they see that you're doing all this activity and that you're busy and you're doing amazing things, they're going to want to engage with you again. But this piece is really clutch. This last one is something that Brand Heist does, is the gifting. So send in a logo gift, like a hoodie with a logo on it. I know that's money, but there might be other ways you can do it. And we always build it into the price of the contract. So it already pays for itself. So think about, I'm not saying you have to go get hoodies or whatever it is. It could be journals, it could be something specific to your industry, but think about that piece. And want to leave you with this piece. I know we just talked about a lot of stuff and it's just a friendly reminder to stay on top of this. But this is a personal brand roadmap and it's a leave behind. It's hard to read this right now in this presentation. There's a guy named Steve Blank that created the Lean Canvas model. He did it many years ago, and all the accelerators that are out there for startups are built upon it. It's basically like, who do you serve? What's your pain point? Why you? What do you offer? How can I be copied? All of those things, any business should fill this out and know what this is. And so we put it to your personal brand. We modified it for this crowd today. And so you'll get this as a leave behind that you can then get in the deck and download it and be able to utilize it. But this is just everything we just talked about. You fill this out and this will help you get to where you need to be. And no one expects for you to become a brand expert overnight, a personal brand expert overnight, but it's the 1% change over time that's going to get you there, right? You have to implement something new today. This will be the roadmap to get there. And I want to end with this. You have everything you already need. You have the skills, you have the experience, you have the results, you have everything. You've done it. You've done it over and over again. You're an expert in your field. You've seen a lot, you have great ideas, you have everything. So now it's time to go tell the story and activate the community to get the opportunities in your hopper. And that is the presentation.
Yay!
I want to open it up for any questions that you might have.
Come on back, everybody. So we're gonna start a private Slack channel for you all to communicate on Slack if you'd like. I'm not going to open it up to the whole world. You guys are the ones that showed up, so you have a little access to Brandy. I did put her website in the chat right now, and I screenshot all of you that are here, and I can't remember who left early. And we will probably, I'll get that going probably the next day or so.
I'll say this too, is that in that Slack channel is there that the reason why we thought about creating this Slack channel for you is go do this work. If you have questions, ask me. If y'all want to do another session, a little group sesh, happy to look over the work you've done. So don't be shy, ask questions. That way you'll be able to reach me privately if you want to and ask questions as well. So reach out there. Something that we do for, as we get introduced to folks like yourself is we want to be able to give back. And that if you find someone that needs the Brand Heist services, we would love an introduction. So we'll leave this behind too, but it'll be the breakdown of all the services that we have. And we offer a 10% finder's fee of the price of the contract or the contracted price. So if you find something out there that you think is a good fit, you want to do an introduction and Brand Heist closes it, we'll give you 10%. So we've been paying out about $2,000, $2,500 for this. So, and it also might create you a gig as well. So happy to contract you on the gig. So just think about us when opportunities come down. And if you think in any way that we could help someone you know, we'd love an introduction.
And is your niche the event space, or it could be any company that might need your services? Like,
Events, we do events and merch, and we do websites and dashboards, and you know, think about digital, think about analytics,
okay,
and think about events and merch.
copy. But your client doesn't have to be in the event space. We could introduce you to a dentist.
Oh, yes, yes, yeah. No, we don't really, we work with marketers that create events inside of companies, but those
Yeah.
companies are not event companies.
No.
They're software companies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's huge. That opens the, you know, if you know somebody starting a business, they got a startup, doesn't matter, right?
Right, exactly.
Fully functional business, it needs a refresh.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So we want to pay you back for any introductions. We don't want that to be missed. We want to be generous. All boats rise. So yeah.
No
we'd
questions? You
love it.
guys good? All right. Well, I am guilty as charged. I don't have my carrot for next month. And I've had a good 6-month carrot. Like I knew every month where we were going. And then as we started today, I was like, I don't have a carrot for next month on what our think tank is going to be. So Barb and I will go through all that. But Barb is very good with her carrot. Barb does all her social media and she has a calendar and she gets it every month. She puts that calendar together. She does all the posts and it's working. We're getting more clients, more contractors, and people go, you're really active on LinkedIn. I saw you on LinkedIn. Your LinkedIn is looking so good. And that is Barb right there who makes the calendar and makes it happen. So anyway, those great tips. I loved it.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
Thank you for, it was a pleasure to meet you or be able to speak with you. I've met everyone individually, but appreciate your time. I know it was an hour of your time and that doesn't go missed by me. I hope you've got some benefit from it. It helps you at some level and that it's not overwhelming. Just take one chunk of it and make it yours and until you're ready for the next one.
Deal. Thank
Okay.
you, Brandy,
Awesome.
for your
Thank
time.
you, Brandy.
Yeah. Doesn't
Thank
go
you.
on us, lost on us either. Thank you for your time to give back to us. I'll get the deck from you. I'll start this LinkedIn or the Slack channel and we'll share it. And then this will be recorded. I mean, it's being recorded and we'll share it on our YouTube channel as well as our Slack channel and social channel. So
Awesome.
muchas gracias. This was fantastic.
Thanks, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Have a good day, team.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Tammy.